Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review / knife overview to show with you guys. This is the Vero Engineering and Protech Auto Synapse, made in the USA, which is very cool. All of Vero's other stuff is OEM'd by Bestech, save for, I think one or two knives, like the Lux is done by Riyadh. But these are, they're normally made by Chinese OEMs, which, some people don't care about. Other people are like, the design, I like it, but I'm not going to buy knives that aren't made in the USA, which is also fine. This gives people an opportunity to own a Vero design that is legitimately made in the USA. With this example by Protech, which is super cool. Protech makes, in my opinion, some of the very best side-opening automatic knives on earth, and this is no exception. It's very cool. I will link these down in the description. They are available. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me, and thank you to, I believe it was eKnives, who loaned this knife to me for review. It'll go back to them when I am done. Let's go ahead and measure this knife. I think it is very similar to the standard Synapse. The reason that I don't have a standard Synapse out here to compare with is because I don't own one. I only own the Synapse XL. But anyways, overall length is coming in at a little over, it's like 8 1/8. Blade length is 3.5 inches. Cutting edge is 3.35, maybe 3.4. Let's do some size comparisons. Any custom scales you find in this section can be found down in the description under Original Goat and others. So we have, the Excalibur's off frame there. Very similar to the size of my Excalibur, just a hair shorter, bigger than the mini Excalibur. Let's put it up against the Spyderco PM2 and the Spyderco Para 3. It's about the same size overall as the PM2, or the same length anyway. And then finally up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case the Ritter Hogue and the Hogue Deca. How is the action? This is a Protech. You push the button, you pull the blade back, you push it down to fire it. Bam! Very powerful Protech. There is some variation in their knives, but from my experience, they range anywhere from powerful to extremely powerful. For example, I don't know what it is about the Protech Invictus. That thing fires so hard, but this fires very similarly to every other Protech that I've handled and every Protech that I currently own. I feel like I have handled, whether I've just reviewed or, whether I own them, probably 30 to 40, maybe 50 individual Protech knives. I'm honestly not sure. And I'm very familiar with their action. They are super consistent with their power. Usually a little bit more powerful, at least a little bit more powerful than your standard Kershaw Launch Series knives. Just really good. These knives don't need to be extremely powerful. They only need to, like if you hold the button down, there just needs to be enough spring power to make sure that that blade is always going out into the open position, and that is absolutely the case here. The action feels good. The button is recessed, so no safety is needed. This is safe to carry. It's not going to open up in your pocket. Push the button, it fires, and I feel secure while I'm deploying it, so that's good. Carry profile, thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. It's almost exactly the same thickness. Length and height up against the PM2 and the Para 3. This is a very easy object to carry. It doesn't feel nearly as bulky as a standard Synapse because there's no titanium in it. This is aluminum, and in this case, micarta. It's kind of like a brick red micarta. Let's go ahead and weigh it. So again, aluminum, and then the pocket clip I think is actually, I don't think it's steel. I think the pocket clip is actually titanium. I would say it's probably titanium. That would be my guess there. Aluminum for the backside, and then we have the I forgot the word micarta. The micarta scale on the front side, which looks pretty cool. They have a few different variations. They also have black, if you don't want it to have any fanciness to it. And then there's a few different blade finishes. This is kind of an acid washed blade. MagnaCut, I believe Protech's HRC range for MagnaCut is 62 to 64. It might actually be 63, 64. Either way, I know they do a good job with it. So the weight on this, I'm going to guess that this doesn't come in any higher than about 3.5 ounces, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's find out. Yeah, 3.5, perfect. Perfect blade length to weight ratio. The balance is just ideal on this. I cannot stress enough, I love the Synapse. I love my Synapse XLs, but this version, this Protech version with a combination of aluminum and micarta, it does feel just dramatically more balanced. It just feels like this is an undoubtedly easier knife to carry. I feel like the Synapse with the titanium is at least 4.5 ounces, which is fine. It doesn't really bother me, but this just feels better. I mean, I think this does better for the profile. You know, that'll matter to some people and not to others. Let's go ahead and do a hardware check. I'm going to get out my tools. As per usual, my tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use in this channel. I don't even really need to get them out. Yes, I know they're out of order, because this is a Protech and they choose hex for those heads, which I don't love. But, you know, it's far from impossible. Most of your Torx sets will come with hex heads. And then we have T6 screws. Those are actually Torx screws. They go all the way into the aluminum. If you really want to take this knife apart, you can. Taking apart a knife that has a coil spring in it is not hard. It's putting it back together that's a little bit tricky. So I wouldn't do that unless you absolutely had to. I've done it before. It's not fun, and you are under a lot of risk to cut yourself. So make sure that you tape off the blade for sure. Just don't risk it. And if you can avoid it, don't take knives like this apart, right? But if you have to, you can get in there. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Let's measure the blade stock thickness. And why would my caliper, I was going to say, there's no reason for my calipers to be lost. I'm just blind to them. The blade stock thickness on this gentle fellow is 124 thousandths. So did I already do that? I feel like I already did it. I can't remember. Anyways, on to the meat and potatoes. It's exactly what you would think. If you're not familiar with Vero knives, ergonomic comfort, it's pretty good. There's some abrupt edges, but it's not something where if I squeeze it, I'm like, oh my God, that is incredibly uncomfortable. The shape of the handle kind of makes up for that. I do wish that they would knock this down a little bit more. Same with the aluminum. But outside of that, it's fine. Like, nothing here is really going to stop me from using this. It's not painful, right? It could just be knocked down a little bit more. Very comfortable. There is a little choke up spot, and the jimping is nice back here. This does feel really good. I don't know if this is Vero jimping or Protech jimping, but whoever, made it that way, did a good job. You might be asking, it's an automatic knife. Can you deploy the knife using the Vero rectangle? And the answer is no, you can't. The blade window, as I have started to call it, because I saw somebody say that, I think it was Brian Winters said that on Instagram. I was like, oh, that makes sense. It's purely decorative. It's to complete the classic Vero aesthetic. He always puts that in there, right? So it is just there, and it will get pocket limp in it. Limp? What's pocket limp? It will get pocket lint. Tell me what pocket limp is down in the comments section. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. It'll get pocket lint in it, and you'll have to clean it out. No big deal. In this case, normally I don't like an acid wash finish, but something about this with the red micarta is actually just really cool. It's not the only finish that you are confined to. You can get a satin finish. I think they even do like the full black DLC. The blade is an incredibly classic high. It's like a high ground drop point blade, high flat grind drop point blade. Sorry, and your flat runs out on the Vero blade about 65% the length. Little swedge here, nice knockdown spine, very very lean at the cutting edge. That's nice. Here is your plunge grind. I'll let you guys take a look at that. Says Protech USA on one side, and we should acknowledge that Protech, despite often being lumped in with Kershaw, Spyderco, Benchmade, etc., Protech is actually a substantially smaller operation. There is much more human involvement with each individual knife versus a company like Kershaw, like Made in the USA Kershaw, which are great knives. But Protech is not just more expensive just because reasons. It's more expensive because there is more involved with the creation of each individual product. And in my opinion, it shines through at the end. I love Kershaw knives and other knives that I would consider in the same tier. But Protech, in my opinion, has an excuse to charge a little bit more. And I think that I don't think they go overboard with it, really. There's been a few Protechs here and there, like the Terzwola Auto, where I'm like, okay. But I'd say like 98% of their stuff, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It makes total sense to me. So we have two parties involved here. But anyways, we'll come back to that. You have the little lanyard slots that are, I think, typical of the Vero knives. We have the Vero pocket clip, which is, it has that Loch Ness Monster shape. It works just fine. It might grab onto something. At least it's made out of titanium, though. It's honestly, the clip is fine. It just has this bill here, which is not only a stuff hook, but you can feel it gripping. It's not, oh my God, I can't, owie, my hand. No, it's not that bad, but you can definitely feel it. The length of it is about exactly at the halfway point, and then it has that big, pronounced bill. I like that we just have the Vero on the pocket clip, and I think, it's fine that Protech puts their logo right there. I always prefer that these logos are smaller if they have to be there, but I don't know. If Protech's logo there doesn't really bother me all that much. Right hand only for these guys. Sorry, lefties, that's just the way it is. Your stop pin is located right here, and I'm not sure, do we have shouldering? We actually do have shouldering underneath there, but as far as where this connects, I don't think, is that this closed position stop pin as well? I guess so. So, oh, I see, it actually tucks in underneath there. You can see that little gap right there. So it doesn't come anywhere near the plunge grind, which is good. We don't have to worry about that. Your blade play in the open position is non-existent. It's very tight. We have a little tiny bit of button stick, which is typical of knives like this, but it'll go away. It's almost non-existent. No pivot lash. It is smooth. This is an auto, so it's going to work against me. Nice click into the close position. Almost no movement here. And then actually, I think this guy is ever so slightly favoring the side of the scale here. So I'm going to get out my X set, which I very rarely need to use unless I am dealing with a Protech. Let's see, is this the right size? This is just a little bit too snug. I just want to see if tightening the pivot slightly will actually correct the centering before I write it off as not centered, right? In some cases, I think the Torx heads actually can fit, but I subscribe to the idea that we should always use exactly the right head. That is too small. How did that end up happening? Am I missing the in-between size? Surely not. Let me look at these again. This is a little bigger. That's a little smaller than that. No. And of course, I'm going to let you guys know right now, none of these are actually in order. But perhaps this is the right size, and I just need to turn it. No, it doesn't feel that that's the case. Well, we might just have to leave it. See real quick if I can get this to fit. It might just be that snug. Yeah, it is. Yep, it is the right size. I was being stupid. I think it was sinking in and I didn't even realize it. So, okay, so now that we've got that turned, it was a little bit loose. Are we coming back to center? It's closer, but I feel like it's still favoring that one side. We don't want it to not, that's what we don't want. We don't want that. We are still favoring that one side. So this knife is just off center. Now I could correct this by, I want to get this snug but not overly tight. It's still pretty overly tight. We don't want it like that. Still a little bit. We want it to have that Protech firepower with no blade play. There we go. No blade play. Okay. This could probably be easily adjusted by, doing the paper trick with the other screws, but these should always come, centered directly from the factory. And this is very, very close. An odd example, most of the Protechs that I have handled and have owned, and the Protechs I own currently, are all center. So probably not an indication of anything being wrong. Might just be, a lot of times how these are assembly and the order that the screws are put in, like all the tolerances can be perfect, but the order of the hardware, the order that the thing was screwed together, can actually affect the blade centering, which is why when you unscrew the pivot and all of the individual body screws, and then you force the blade over and screw in the body screws and then tighten down the pivot, that's why sometimes it can center it without anything being warped or bent or altered. A lot of people tried to tell me in those shorts, oh, you're bending the blade. No, not with a piece of paper, I'm not. Interesting guess, though. What can happen, what actually factually can happen when you over-tighten the pivot, which is part of the centering process that I do, if the balls are like if it's running on bearings, and like if it's like a Herman knife, for example, that has ultra hard bearings, you can crack the bearings. You can also create indentions in the surface that the bearings are riding on. That's what you have to worry about. People thinking that the blade is being bent while you're cranking down on the pivot and you're using a piece of paper to wedge the blade over. That is lunacy. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So you can do that. This doesn't have any bearings or anything like that. Just don't, never over tighten the pivot. But that's the reason why that sometimes will fix it. It's not necessarily, off-centered blades are not indicative of poor tolerances. It's just sometimes that happens, right? Something was tightened a little too much or not quite tight enough when everything was put together. So the order, it just needs to be reset and the order needs to be done again. I've demonstrated that many times on this channel. I have shorts on it. I have full uploads on it. But my guess is that would be the case with this knife as well. What is the price tag on this knife? It is $300. Pricey for a Protech, yes, but still a collaboration. 2 parties involved, and this is a Vero, right? You pay a little more for a Vero. It just seems like it. Is the price tag fair? I still feel like it's a little high, even considering it's a Protech. Protech gets a little bit of a pass to charge a little bit more than some of their competitors because of their small shop nature. They are not a 1 or 2 person shop, but they're also not a massive like, it's not like Benchmade or like Kershaw or like Spyderco. Like they're not nearly the same size, right? There is a lot more cost in the processes. The processes are not quite as automated as some of those much larger full production, these are still production knives, but there's a little more to them, right? But anyways, a little more for the Protech, a little more for the fact that it's Vero and Protech. I think they probably could have come in at $285 and would have been fine. That's $15 less, so I'm not too upset about it. Honestly, I think it makes for a cool knife. This is very specifically going to attract people that are, number 1, looking for a US auto, and number 2, looking for a USA-made variation of Vero's famous Synapse. So if that's you, you will absolutely love this knife. If that's not you or partially you, then, you might look around a little bit. Either way, I think this is a good knife, and generally speaking, it is recommendable. That's going to be it for today's video. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.